Hey gang, it's Ark. I've got a bit of an odd challenge today. It requires a little bit of an introduction, so I hope you'll stick with me through this. I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. So, a question that I frequently see asked is it possible to survive forever, theoretically? Or is there some maximum amount of time that you might possibly be able to survive? I'm going to pull up the Stalker start screen here just so we can see all the regions. So, in answering this question, some of the things you have to consider are um, repairing your clothing, which requires sewing kits, which eventually run out, and then you can start making fishing tackle, which requires scrap. And then there's the question of whether your tools are renewable, which also requires scrap. And then there's fire, which eventually you will run out of matches if you play for long enough. But there is the magnifying lens. And so once you have that, you can start fires whenever there's sun out. And there's a few other factors. Eventually cloth will run out, leather will run out. But it mostly comes down to fire starting and cloth and metal. And so, fortunately, there is beachcombing. Things wash up on the shores of these three regions, as well as the transition between here. And so if you have access to that, then you have access to renewable cloth and metal. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details of how this works, but so the end result of that is yes, I believe you can survive theoretically forever. Now, we're going to be taking this one step further and asking, can we survive forever in the Interloper in only our spawn region? So out of all the spawn regions, there's only one coastal region, which is this one here. Desolation Point does have a forge, but if you can't leave the region, then you can never get a hammer. So you're going to be extremely limited on tools. So I think this is tough but possible. But the big problem is that you will not have access to the magnifying lens. So you have to find a way to eventually keep your fire going forever. And also, without the forge, you can't ever have weapons. You can't have the knife and hatchet. You can't have the bow and arrows, which means you can't have bear or wolf coats. And if you can't survive wolf and bear attacks, then you need a way to stay safe. So while I do think this is possible, it's extremely tough because of those reasons. I might eventually attempt this challenge here, but today we're going to do Pleasant Valley. And the reason we're going to do Pleasant Valley is because it's the only spawn region where there's a chance of a magnifying lens. So if you don't know, there are 4 loot tables for Interloper, and they kind of tell you where the rare items will spawn. And so on one of the loot tables, there is a magnifying lens that spawns in Pleasant Valley. I don't typically use the loot tables, but it was important to know exactly where this challenge was going to be possible. Now, I believe there's only about a 1/10 chance, roughly, to spawn in here, and then another 1/4 chance to get in the correct loot table, so I'd have to start here an average of 40 times to get the start that I'm looking for. So instead, we're going to do a custom run. Maybe I'll try it a couple of times first just to see if we get lucky, but we'll probably end up doing just a run where we just use all the same settings from Interloper. All right, that's going to be it for the introduction. I'll talk a bit more about the strategy for this run when we get into it, so I'll see you on the other side. All right, I didn't have any luck with my first couple of tries, so let's go ahead and go into custom. We're going to set it to Interloper level. We're going to choose Pleasant Valley. This will take a lot of the RNG out of it. And we only get 2 feats for Interloper, so I'll go ahead and activate these 2. These aren't the best feats, but they're the only ones that I have unlocked, so I don't think feats are too important. For this run, the snaring one would be pretty convenient, but I don't think it's necessary. Alright, I believe I'm over on the west-ish side of the map. Alright, so there's going to be 2 primary parts to this challenge. For the first 3 to 5 days, or however long it takes really, we'll just be playing it roughly as a normal Interloper. Except I'm not really concerned with collecting many resources other than the things that I actually need for the second part of the challenge. And I'll be using starvation, which is not something that I typically do, but we'll just make it pretty easy to quickly get through this early game. Alright, so we need to go see if we're on the correct loot table. We only have a 1 out of 4 chance, so I'm going straight to the farm. Should be over that way somewhere. See that big open area over there is where I'm headed. And really the only thing we need is magnifying lens and some cloth. The cloth is to build 1 or 2 snow shelters, which I can maintain with only sticks, as long as I'm always careful to repair them before they get below 75%. So, like I said, the main reason we chose this region
It's goddamn freezing.
is for the mag lens, but it also has a very convenient location where I believe I'm going to be able to stay safe from predators. Which is pretty important because if I'm going to theoretically live forever, then I need to be 100% sure that I never get attacked. Since we're not in a coastal area, eventually, after thousands of weeks have passed, eventually we will have no clothing because there's no cloth to repair the clothing, and even animal hide clothing requires sewing kits, which will run out, or fishing tackle to craft and repair. And even though we could gather a lot of metal on the map and make a lot of tackle, eventually all the tackle would run out, there would be no more metal, and we'd have no more ways to repair clothing. So for the second part of this challenge, we are going to be completely naked. Which is definitely going to make things somewhat challenging. Oh, we got an ear wrap. Well, I guess I'll wear this right now. When we get to the part where we're actually surviving as though we were in the end of the game, that's when we'll officially use only renewable items. So I'll be taking... essentially, I'm going to simulate being on day, 1 million by taking off all my clothing, not using any items unless they're fully 100% renewable. Do I even need to bother looting this? I don't think so. Main thing is we need to go downstairs and see what loot table we're on. On the correct loot table, there will be a magnifying lens in here. And I believe this is it. I believe the hammer is on the same one. I think I've actually... This happened to me back in the very... Yep, there it is. All right, so we got it first try. That's pretty nice. I actually knew about this because I found this way back in the very first series I did on this channel. Interloper Mapping Season 1. Let's see. I don't think I have any use for those tools. And they're not renewable because of the lack of metal, so there's not really any point in having them around. I don't really need to be doing this looting. Now, what I do want is a fair amount of reclaimed wood. So, I'm going to break these down. We're going to be using wood to make snares, and the snares are renewable because when they're ruined, you get the wood back when you break them down, and then you can just craft them with another gut. Not worried about preserving the hammer at all. We're probably going to have more wood than we know what to do with. So I probably won't go all over the whole map breaking down all of these. We'll probably just get the stuff from the this farmhouse and from the barn, maybe. Those are pretty inefficient time-wise. Let's just break this down. Okay, we're probably pretty weighed down now. I think that's fine for here. I guess we'll grab some stuff just for...
Surrounded by snow and nothing to drink.
Just for the first few days here. And we'll get the water. Cooking pots will last forever, as long as you're careful to never let stuff boil off. Let's go ahead and grab this. And I'm going to get the water from here and from the...
I'm gonna need to eat soon.
upstairs bathroom. Go ahead and drink this. How am I doing on carry weights? Oh, actually pretty well, considering all that wood. Alright, there'll be more cloth where I'm going, so I'll just grab a couple of these. We aren't going to need that much cloth. Basically 10 for the... I'm planning to build two snow shelters. I probably would only need one, or I might not even need one at all. We can sleep inside. But I've never done this before, and I'm not exactly sure how the cabin fever is going to work out. So here it's better to be prepared. That's way too long for that. Let's just go and get this. So we actually don't need to do much more. Let me just see if there's more efficient items to break down here before we head over to the barn. We're going to end up leaving all this wood at the barn anyway, so... that's reasonable, I guess. It's pretty late in the day. Let's just sleep here.
I could eat anything right now.
That's a bad item to break down. That's a bad item to break down. I mean, you can see, like, you could just get an absolutely ridiculous quantity of stuff here. I don't think we're going to need more than, like, 40 or 50 snares, considering that we'll be able to go and rebuild them fairly frequently. That's pretty bad. Maybe we'll just go back down into the basement. Yeah, I think I'm going to spend the night here, just to be safe. What I should really do is go get some rabbits so I can start guts curing. So let's actually drop all the wood and drop the book.
never thought I'd be...
Okay, so I know there are rabbits over here. I don't believe I picked up... I did pick up rocks. So if we see rabbits, we can immediately go for them. I think they're sometimes over there and sometimes up here behind the structure here. Alright, so we can get a couple of guts from here. Any dead deer that I see, I can also... I should go down to the basement and grab the matches that always spawn there because we might actually need to start a few fires before we get into the late game portion of the challenge. Alright, that went pretty well. So that's 2 guts. I probably want... Wait, did I? Oh, I never dropped it. Okay. Let's take that.
Do I... If I don't warm up soon...
We'll just go inside here and harvest the guts off of these. Assuming I can warm up in here, it might be too cold. Yeah, it's actually too cold. Alright, we'll just take them back to the farmhouse then. Now, I thought about actually using this as my base of operations for the late game. You do have an outdoor sheltered fire location at the fire barrel just behind the house there. You got the workbench in the basement. The main reason I don't like this spot, we've got a, I think that's a deer carcass over there. Alright, so I should go, you know what, I have, yeah, I actually have the magnifying lens to do this right now. Let's get over here and just start a fire here. We can get this deer carcass thawed out. So I can harvest the guts off of this too. Sorry, I know I interrupted my thought there, but I actually don't remember what it was, so hopefully it was pretty clear where I was going with that.
Come on, little fire.
So I probably want about 6 to 8 guts to start this thing off, and we're already going to have 4 once we harvest. Seriously?
Come on!
Well, okay, but I wasn't that upset about it. Not really costing me anything. It's kind of annoying that we're losing the cattail heads, since we've only got a couple. And I guess I'm freezing out here.
Come on, little fire!
Let's see, is there any tinder in here? Alright, let's just step inside briefly. I'm gonna go get the matches for later. And, we'll, craft some tinder or find some in here. Okay, nothing really here. Continue taking rocks for later. I might want to build a, stone cache just to have a place to stick stuff next to my snow shelters. And if we end up wanting to do some sort of late game thing where we go someplace where there are wolves, then we'll need stones to redirect them. Alright, so there are the matches that I wanted. Let's just warm up a little bit in here. Let's see, are there any boxes or anything to break down for tinder? I don't think any of this stuff gives tinder. And there are no more crates from what I can see. I'm just thinking rather than breaking up my sticks for tinder, there's probably... Oh yeah, I gotta remember to pick up all this before we leave. We are coming back in here to sleep the night. I'll just take that for now. It's not a renewable item. And of course, all the canned food would eventually run out anyway. But we can use it for the early days. Okay. Is there really no tinder anywhere? It's bizarre. Alright, whatever. We'll just craft some. Gonna get warmed up a little bit while doing this anyway. And maybe tomorrow we can grab some more cattails while we're out and about. Alright, let's go out this door. I think this will be a little closer to the deer. Oh, you know what? It might be too late. Looks like we still got the sun up. Alright, let's run over here and get this started. We actually need to burn a bunch of energy to be able to sleep for a decent length of time tonight. Wish I found some accelerant or something. Kind of hoping to get
It was so cold.
over to our location where I was planning to live. Now, unfortunately, it is way, 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 way too cold here. So, let's just go inside. I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm just going to use some of that wood. Some of the reclaimed wood that I harvested. I guess we can look and see if there's any wood next to like the fireplace here that we can grab. There's another crate I can break down eventually. Let's just grab some of this. We're going to have more than enough, so I'll just waste some to get that fire warm enough for what I want to do. Even if this was a real game where I was really trying to live forever for tens of thousands, I mean, I wouldn't care about having to burn 20 or 30 of these just because there's so many in the map. I'm just not going to worry about it. Throw a couple of those on there. The last stick is fine. We'll find more. Should be warming up soon. Okay, that's technically warm enough. Let me just throw one more on there just in case it gets a bit colder. Might as well cook some water. Not that we need it, but I'll just keep that going. Let's harvest these first while that's thawing. Now, these might be frozen too, actually. Nope, they have not frozen yet. Okay, this is now 44% frozen, so... You know what? Let's go ahead and get this one piece of meat off of here. I don't need this at all, but it's pretty efficient as a food source. We've got a fire right here, so this will be what I eat tonight. So that'll preserve some of that other food that I found. Alright, let's see. What else do we want off of here? Let's go ahead and get one of the guts. And then that water's probably done now. Just about. That's just about ready. We got one more gut to get from there and one more gut to get from here. So that's going to be another good chunk of time. Probably just about. We have just enough time on that fire. Alright, I'm going to put that over there. And let's finish this up. Let's take that. I think we got more than enough now. Let's go ahead and get this gut. The other, the rabbit we can just take inside to harvest. Okay, and as long as I've got this, let's grab a couple of torches, and I'm going to take a torch inside so I can see where I'm going. Alright, so I'll harvest the last rabbit gut inside. Let's take these in. This is the one without the gut, so we'll take this one. And let's take my cooking pot. Okay, we got everything off of there. Perfect. Yeah, it's so weird. I'm doing a whole bunch of things that would ordinarily make no sense. Like, I just don't care about the rabbit meat. I don't care about the deer hides or the rabbit hides because pretty soon we're going to be treating this as though we've run out of all the ways to use this. All right, let's check this medicine shelf as well, and let's go ahead and get upstairs. I just need to find a bedroom. Okay, so let's get everything on the ground here. I'm gonna pick up that meat, and let's move this here. Don't need that anymore. Okay, so we're gonna harvest the gut off of this. Can drop that to start curing it. Oh, I didn't mean to drop my venison. Shoot. There it is. Okay, just the gut. There's the bed. Okay, let's eat the venison. Looks like we need a little bit more to get the full 10 hours of sleep. So I'll go ahead and eat cattail. That's going to be fine. I don't need to push this. Wow, it's so easy to keep yourself fed when you're abusing starvation like this. This is why I never do it. It's just so easy. Like, I didn't have to think about food at all. And I still have extra food left over. All right, let's just go and sleep the full 10 hours. I might not get all 10, but close to it. We'll be able to tell based on what our hydration looks like when we wake up in the morning. Yeah, it was... I almost got the full 10 in. That was actually pretty much perfect for sleeping, and we're full health.
I could eat a horse.
All right, so we already have
I love horses.
4 gut, which is eventually 4 snares. Let's go ahead and carry all of our wood over to the barn. There's a bunch of crates at the barn, so I'm not even going to worry about harvesting more stuff here. Now, the one thing that I'd probably do if I was really serious about this... Oh, free maple syrup. All right, well, now we really don't have to think about food. Let's go ahead and grab this. I might go up to Signal Hill and try to get like another pot. It'd be nice to have a couple of pots for cooking water. But I already have one, and honestly, you don't need them when you have cans. So, all right, let's get out of here. I'm gonna head over to the barn. We do have a bunch of stink on us because of the guts. But Okay, there's a bear. So he's already interested in us. And looks like a wolf got scared off by the bear. We just have to make sure he doesn't run over towards us. Okay, it doesn't look like he's coming towards us. Making sure I didn't leave anything important over there. I think that wolf is heading towards where he last smelled me, so he's probably going to be on our tail soon. But yeah, that's another reason that I didn't want to base right there. Even though you have the workbench, it's like there's a wolf and a bear right there. All right, let's make sure we got nobody coming right up on us here.
I can't feel my hands.
There's a wolf that's
It's so cold.
headed towards where he smelled me
I
before.
want to lay down for a bit.
Alright, so we're coming up on the barn here. This is going to be my workbench location for this run. The only thing I need the workbench for is crafting snares. I'm not even sure that snares are necessary to pull this off, given the other resources that we have available. But as long as it seems safe, so as long as there aren't wolf spawns right next to the barn, and as long as the visibility coming in here from my house. You know what? Actually, I'm going to drop these guts next to this hay stuff here. We're going to go get that rabbit and potentially another one if there's another one spawned over there. Didn't even know there was a rabbit location here. It's fine for us to take some more damage from the cold. I prefer not to get frostbite. One of the things I have to work out is it actually reasonable to go completely naked and somehow not get... Let me just see if I can snipe this guy. Nope, that was way off. Let me go get that rock. Gotta wait for him to calm down anyway. Maybe there'll be some more rocks over here. Or some sticks or something. Doesn't look like it. Oh, I thought it wasn't going to give me the prompt in time. Alright, so we got a bit of smell coming from that now. Yeah, so far it looks pretty good. It looks like there aren't wolves that spawn right next to this barn. Essentially, I need for all the locations that I go to, I either need them to be predator-free, or I need a strategy that's endlessly repeatable without ever messing up. Now, right now, I'm coming in here with a bunch of stink, which means there's probably animals on their way to me, but ordinarily that wouldn't be the case. I'd cure the guts before I got here, and I wouldn't be bringing any rabbits or meat or anything like that. But this looks really good. I don't believe that there are any wolf spawns right around here, so that's exactly what I was hoping for. Okay, so let's get in here. We're going to leave all my guts to cure in here. Let's take this rabbit, and I'm going to sit in the truck for a bit. Hopefully it'll be warm in here with my clothing, just barely. You know what? Let's loot this place and see if I can find one or two more clothing items.
Damn, I'm freezing.
And we'll grab that for starting fires. I don't know why I'm searching this. I guess maybe I find work gloves in here. The coal is nice. Yeah, most loot I just don't care about. Metal's worthless. You could get some tinder from these cardboard boxes. There could be some clothing in here. Alright, let's just go sit in the truck. I've got a few things to work on. And I'll drop the wood later. Alright, so we're going to harvest this rabbit. Let's go ahead and get the meat off of there too. Probably end up cooking that. And alright, so that we're not going to hang on to. Gonna leave the guts here. Okay, so we got 5 guts now. Probably what I'll do is let's go ahead and head over to the place that I'm planning to use as a home. We'll probably take a quick look there and then end the episode. And then in the next episode, I'm probably going to get... you know what? I can probably just sleep in here for a bit. I don't really need the energy. Let's just pass time for a little bit. I don't think I have anything else to work on, so... Pass time for about 3 hours, maybe? I'm barely warming up here. You know what? This is kind of a waste of time. Let's just go over to the other house. It's going to be warm there. Yeah, I'll take that with me. Not too worried about wolves on the way over here. This is a trek that I'm going to be making a lot. So I should go ahead and start practicing it. So we come out here. Now there is a bear that can be back in that birch forest, and he sometimes like comes up into this area. So I would have to keep an eye out for him. But bears are relatively easy to avoid, and this is a big open area. You can see them a long way away. There's tractors in the barn to duck into if for some reason you're in a tight spot.
My fingers feel numb.
And we will be going over into that birch forest because I would like the birch bark. But we're also going to have to establish a 100% safe way to loot there. Now this route should be 100% safe. I don't believe there's any wolf spawns around here except for kind of out there near the road in between the river and that bridge over there. There's like one wolf that's sometimes over there. So for this route, what I would typically do is, let's actually make sure, yeah. I don't want to get frostbite, so we're going to keep an eye on that. I kind of want to get those rabbits, but I'll do it later. But yeah, the wolf spawn is like over there, way over there on that hill. There might even be a wolf over there right now. It's hard to tell from that distance. So as long as I stay far away from there, I believe that I can make this trip 100% of the time, especially without any stink on me. So we're going to be staying in Thompson's Crossing. Thompson's Crossing is really nice. There's a bunch of features that I'll show off when we get over there. But this whole area here is free of wolves. There's a rabbit grove just up there. There's a rabbit grove back there that we saw. There's some deer that are in here. Wolves only spawn on the other side of the river and in that one spot over there that I talked about. So there are no wolves that just patrol through Thompson's Crossing. So it's a really safe place to stay. Now, if you have stink on you in there, they will come in. So you still have to, you know, behave. rationally, I guess. And here's the rabbit grove where I'll probably be setting up the majority of my snares. I'm just going to get this guy while he's here and while I'm right out in front. I guess I'll just carry him in. I'm not really worried about wolves from this short distance, you know. Might as well get this other one as well. Oh, I missed. Alright, I'm going to go inside. I don't want to get frostbite, so... Plus, that wolf that I said was over there, you know, eventually he'll make his way over here. Plus the wolves on the other side of the river that could come up here. So, there's the fire barrel that we'll be using as our outdoor fire source. We can cook in the community center on the 6-burner stove. And then this house, I'll be checking out the other houses too, but this house is really nice. Alright, so we're safe from frostbite now. Let it get up to 64% there. The really nice thing about this house is if I take off all my clothing, I wasn't expecting it to feel like 4 degrees. Ah, there we go. Yeah, there's a fixed temperature in here. It would be 1 without the feet, the cold fusion feet that adds 2 degrees. But since we have that feet, it's up to 3. So that feet is mainly here just to make it quicker to warm up in an area like this. And the big thing is, not only is this house warm with no clothes, but it has a bed that gives a massive 8 degrees warmth bonus. Most beds give 5 or 6, and some of the flimsy little beds only give like 3 degrees. So I believe this is the largest warmth that you can get from a bed. Now, could just start a fire to get warmed up quickly. The one thing is I have almost no fuel because we're kind of conserving our fuel. Let's see. There'll probably be some fuel in the community center. Let's see. We're kind of at time for this episode. I'm just trying to decide what to do here. I think I'll just step out and in here. We'll use this as a save point. And in the next episode, we'll just do a little bit of looting around here and figure out a strategy. Figure out where I'm going to place my snow shelter or snow shelters if I decide to have 2. It might make sense to have 1 just outside this door. That way I can get warmed up in the bed, hop outside, hop in the snow shelter, and then just do stuff for like an hour while I slowly get colder, and then I'll be able to come back in here. And that'll just keep my cabin fever risk at bay. So yeah, we are going for a very formulaic strategy here. There's not going to be a lot of I guess doing things for any reason other than just a formula for long-term survival. And you can see there's plenty of crates here. There's probably between here and the what we left at the barn and in the community center, there's probably like another 30 to 40 reclaimed wood on top of what we've already gathered. So 1 reishi mushroom there. It's odd. I'm gonna grab this spray paint. We might paint ourselves some markers to help with navigation in a blizzard. Alright, so this is going to be our home for the next while. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We are probably going to have probably 1 or 2 more episodes of just prep work. And then I'm going to take all my clothing off, ditch all my non-renewables, and that's how we're going to simulate it being, you know, day 10,000 or something. And we'll see if we can survive from there. All right. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next one.